Welcome, seekers of wisdom. Today we delve into the profound Buddhist concept of no self or anatta. Buddhism is not merely a religion, it's a philosophy, a way of life that has been guiding millions around the world for centuries. Its teachings are profound and varied, spanning from the practice of mindfulness to the cultivation of compassion. But today we're focusing on one of its most intriguing teachings, no self or anatta. Now what exactly is anatta? It's a Pali term that literally translates to not self. This concept is one of the three marks of existence in Buddhism, the other two being dukkha, or suffering, and anicca, or impermanence. But don't let this simple translation fool you. This is a concept that challenges the very root of our understanding of self and identity. Understanding no self is not just about grappling with a philosophical concept, it's about delving into the very essence of what makes us, us. It's about questioning our deeply held beliefs about our identity and existence. This exploration can lead to a greater understanding of Buddhism as a whole, and can even transform the way we perceive ourselves and the world around us. In the vast expanse of Buddhist teachings, no self holds a place of profound importance. It's a concept that intertwines with other key teachings, adding layers of depth to the philosophy that is Buddhism. It's like a thread that weaves through the fabric of Buddhist teachings, connecting and enhancing them. So why should we try to understand no self? Because it offers us a new lens to view our existence, a new perspective to understand our experience. It challenges us to question our assumptions and to see the world in a different light. And in doing so, it opens up a path to wisdom and enlightenment. Now you might ask, what exactly does no self mean in Buddhism? Let's explore this together. In the simplest terms, no self or anatta is the belief that there is no unchanging permanent self or soul in living beings. This idea might feel a little out of left field, especially when we consider that many religious and spiritual traditions around the world propose the existence of an eternal soul or self. But hold on to your hats, because Buddhism takes a different route. It's not that Buddhism denies the existence of a person per se, it's more about questioning the existence of an unchanging, permanent identity. The crux of the matter is Buddhism suggests that what we perceive as the self, the I, the me, is not one solid, unchanging entity. Instead, it's a collection of experiences, perceptions, and mental formations that are constantly changing and evolving. Think of it this way. You're not the same person you were when you were 5 years old, right? And you're going to be a different person 5 years from now. Over time, your beliefs, your views, your experiences, even your body changes. So, can we really say that there's an unchanging self within us? Buddhism proposes that the self is more like a river, constantly flowing and changing. It's not that the river doesn't exist, but it's never the same from one moment to the next. You can't step into the same river twice, as the saying goes. So when we talk about no self in Buddhism, it's not about negation or nihilism. It's about understanding that we are ever-changing, ever-evolving beings. It's about realizing that clinging to an idea of a permanent, unchanging self can lead to suffering, because it goes against the very nature of existence, which is change and impermanence. This might seem a bit abstract, but let's dive deeper to truly grasp the meaning of no self. Buddhism breaks down the notion of self into 5 components, known as the 5 aggregates. To better understand the concept of no self, let's delve into these 5 aggregates. Firstly, we have form. This refers to the physical aspect of our existence, our bodies and all that we can touch, see and feel. It's the tangible part of us. But like a river constantly flowing, our bodies are in a state of continuous change. Cells die, new ones are born, and so, this form we identify as us is not a fixed entity. Next, we have feelings. These are not just our emotions, but also the sensations we experience through our senses. The sweet taste of chocolate, the scent of a rose, the warmth of a hug. These sensations too are transient, coming and going like waves on a shore. The third aggregate is perceptions. These are the labels our mind attaches to the sensory information it receives. We recognize a tree because our mind has learned to associate that image with the word tree. But perceptions can be misleading and change with knowledge and experience. The fourth aggregate is mental formations. This includes our thoughts, ideas, opinions, prejudices, and everything else that shapes our mental landscape. Like clouds in the sky, these formations are always shifting, morphing, and evolving. Lastly, we have consciousness. This is the awareness that allows us to experience and process the other 4 aggregates. It's like the screen upon which the movie of our life is projected, but even consciousness is not static. It fluctuates and transforms moment by moment. So what do these 5 aggregates tell us about self? They show us that what we perceive as self is not a single, unchanging entity. Rather, it's a dynamic collection of form, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, all of which are constantly in flux. So in essence, what we perceive as self is merely a collection of these ever-changing aggregates. Understanding no self has profound implications on our perception of reality and our existence. This isn't some abstract philosophical notion, but a transformative understanding that can fundamentally alter how we live and interact with the world. Let's start with selfishness and attachment. These are 2 things that cause a lot of suffering in our lives. We cling to possessions, people, ideas, and even our own identities. But what if we told you that the understanding of no self can help in decreasing these? When we realize that there is no permanent, unchanging self, we begin to loosen our grip. We become less possessive, less clingy, less driven by ego. We let go of our attachments not because we don't care, but because we understand the transient nature of everything. Now let's talk about compassion and understanding. These are 2 traits that are increasingly rare in today's world. With no self, we start to see ourselves in others. If there is no permanent self, then the boundaries between me and you start to blur. We become more empathetic, more understanding, and more compassionate. We view others' suffering as our own, and their joy as our joy. This shift in perspective is not just beneficial on a personal level. It can lead to healthier relationships, more peaceful communities, and a more compassionate world. Finally, the concept of no self is a stepping stone to the realization of nirvana, the ultimate goal in Buddhism. Nirvana is the cessation of suffering, the ultimate peace. It's a state of existence that is free from the delusions of self. By understanding no self, we are one step closer to this ultimate liberation. So, no self is not a nihilistic view, but rather a liberating concept that frees us from the illusion of a permanent identity. It's a profound understanding that can transform our lives, our relationships, and our perception of the world. It's a path to a more peaceful and compassionate existence. As we wrap up our exploration of no self in Buddhism, it's important to remember that this concept is not meant to be understood intellectually alone, but to be experienced and realized. The idea of no self is, at its core, a call to action. It challenges us to look within, to question our assumptions, and to seek truth beyond the surface of our consciousness. Each of us, in our unique ways, can apply this profound teaching to our daily lives. When we feel the pull of ego, the urge to assert our identity, we can pause and remember Anatta. We can question whether this self we're so attached to is really as solid and permanent as we think. This reflection can lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. The essence of no self is not about negating our existence, but about seeing beyond the illusion of a separate, independent self. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, the constant flux of change, the dance of cause and effect. This realization can bring about a profound shift in perspective, freeing us from the constraints of ego, and opening us to greater compassion and wisdom. For those of you who wish to delve deeper into Buddhist teachings, there are countless resources available. From ancient texts like the Tripitaka to modern interpretations and commentaries, to meditation retreats and online forums, there's a wealth of knowledge waiting to be explored. Seek out reputable sources, engage in open-minded discussions, and most importantly, apply what you learn in your daily life. Remember, the path of Buddhism is not about acquiring intellectual knowledge, but about transforming our hearts and minds. It's a journey of discovery, of awakening, of becoming more fully human. Thank you for joining this journey into the heart of Buddhism. May the understanding of no self guide you towards wisdom and compassion. Until next time, be well and be mindful.